If you're currently wondering whether you should purchase or pass on the new Wishblossom Ranch DLC for Disney Dreamlight Valley, then stay tuned because I've got you covered. I'm going to be covering everything from the likes and the loves to also the things I think they should improve on. I'm also going to be going over everything you can expect in the DLC from furniture, biomes, characters, and more. So let's go ahead and dive into all the details starting right now. So let's start out with the elephant in the room, and that is horses. Horses in Disney Dreamlight Valley have been done absolutely amazingly. I know that's not really a word, but like it's perfect. There's some things which we'll talk about that I think could be improved, but in general, this first iteration of, a new mount system in the game is literally done so well. So a couple things first to start out. One, you can see that I can summon any horse to be right at my side at any time, which I think is an absolutely amazing feature. We'll get more into that in a second. Another thing I want to point out that they did really well with horses is that you can side saddle. This was a feature that I was absolutely not expecting at all. Turns out that if you're wearing a dress, you side saddle, but if you're wearing an outfit like this, for example, then you ride the horse like the regular way. And I just love this little detail. I know it's a very small detail, but I think that is such a thoughtful thing to do. Now, of course, those are just the little details. Let's talk about horseback riding in general. You can completely customize your horse with all kinds of different accessories. I don't want to spoil those too much, but the main thing that I think everyone should know is that horseback riding in this game is extremely smooth. Again, another feature that I was really just shocked about, because when they mentioned horseback riding was coming to the game, I had my hopes pretty high for my expectations of what horseback riding was going to be. And I can actually say that they have exceeded every expectation for how horseback riding was going to feel and how seamless it is. One thing that I'd like to show you guys is what it looks like when you're riding a horse through a fully decorated valley, because I feel like that is like the true test of kind of like how easy it is to ride your horse. I was worried it was going to be clunky or it was going to be hard to kind of move around. So I will say I designed my valley with horseback riding in mind, but I just have to say that it is super smooth. Your horse will jump over fences and different objects, night thorns, all kind of stuff like that. You can see I'm not getting stuck at all. There may be little moments and times when you're running around and you might get stuck on something, but literally they jump over everything. And it almost feels exactly how it would feel if you were like running around or gliding in the game. I don't know how to explain it. It's just really well done. Really well done. And again, it doesn't even matter how wide your paths are. I feel like the horse is almost has the same, I guess the best way to describe it is maybe like footprint as your character. But yeah, very smooth, absolutely amazing. I don't see any reason to walk on your own 2 feet at this point. Another thing I do want to point out is like if you're standing in front of an archway or something like this, I was really worried that your horses would get stuck on it. Turns out that they let you just kind of glitch run right through it. It doesn't affect you at all. And this is the best case scenario. Does it look realistic? No, it's only a second and it really doesn't bother me at all. And I would much prefer to be able to just run through these things than getting stuck behind them on horseback. So again, I wouldn't worry about like archways or even gazebos. Now, the new mount system also brings a new leveling system, which is important to know about this DLC. All of your horses, including like the main character horses, which are basically like Khan and also Maximus and Pegasus, they all have special abilities, but also all of your horses have the ability to do a lot of your tool tasks, is what I'll call them. So every horse, after leveling them to 10, will be able to water and harvest crops, mine, dig holes, and jump over night thorns. So they will all have those abilities, but you get to pick the new ability as you level the horse up, if that makes sense. You also get new cosmetic items and things like that, usually for your horses or your character, from leveling up the different horses, and it feels exactly as it does to level up like any other villager in the game. Now, I love this feature. I love that they implemented some type of way to like bond with your horse and also level them up. It gives you something to look forward to, but I do have a gripe. As wonderful as horses are in the game, I have to say that a lot of the things that you do on your horse, like the different tasks, just do not feel very smooth. Now, I will start with my personal favorites, which are jumping over night thorns. That is very smooth, as you can see. However, I also really enjoy watering. As you can see, it's just super easy to water, and it's really fast to water your crops now on the back of your horse. I think the animation of the horse holding holding the little watering can in its mouth and then watering the crops is super cute too. But you can see how easy and how fast that was. And for anybody who has like floating farming islands like this one, this is like absolutely amazing. It's the next best thing compared to like an ancient gardener or something like that. So this is awesome and done really well. However, all of the other tasks in the game are like my least favorite, to be honest. I mean, mining is not bad, but it's not the fastest process. I wish that it was faster. I wish that you could hold the button down to mine, but instead you have to press it each time in order to mine a node here. Like you see, I'm pressing the button over and over to do this. So mining's not my personal favorite. And one of the absolute worst has to be digging. It's literally terrible. That's how long it takes to dig one individual spot. Not to mention, you can't really tell where you're digging. You kind of just have to, I don't know, like imagine the spot that you're digging and just hope that you're in the right placement. They will dig more holes, and they actually do all of their tasks more efficiently if you have the boost that you get from taking care of them each day. And I don't want to go too much into detail about that. If you guys want like a full tutorial, I'm planning on making a guide to the horses in the game. So it'll just be a full guide on everything you need to know for your horses. So if you're looking for that, I'll have it linked at the end of the video when it's ready. But this is just not great. Once they have that boost that I mentioned, you do plant more than one hole. And it's still super long. I just feel like the animation needs to be improved or made quicker. Also, if you rear up like this, if you let go of the button too soon, you see they don't dig the hole. You literally have to hold the button the entire time. So it's really just not efficient. And a lot of the other tasks are like this as well. They just don't really feel intuitive. I really do feel like they need some updating. So that is my one gripe. Again, I am very, very much so impressed with horseback riding. And I feel like this first iteration of it is great. It's amazing. But I have to be truthful in saying that, there are some features about it, specifically when it comes to doing like tasks and stuff that just doesn't feel great. Another thing that I love about the mount system is that you can change any horse at any time. So you really don't have to switch if one horse has a specific task, like maybe Maximus is good with mining, but you need someone to help you with your crops, and you can easily just switch your horses without ever getting off of them. Now you do have options for taking care of your horse. You can feed, pet, brush, and ride your horse. The only thing about these that I think I've been hearing people say, they say that some of these animations take a little bit too long. I think that is personal preference. I personally like watching the animations. They are, they're not the quickest thing, but it does feel like I'm bonding with my horse, which I really like. I love both the animations, one for petting and the other for brushing, but this is how long they usually take to do. And again, you will do this with all of the horses that you get in the game or any horses that come in the future in order to improve your relationship with them. But yeah, I like how they made them feel really personal, and also it feels like you're really caring for your horse. But, it's personal preference on whether you're going to like how long they are or not, how long the animations are. And you can also feed your horse, which you will have a list of favorite things to feed them each day. And you can only feed them the 3 things for the day. If you feed them anything else, like they'll eat it, but it doesn't improve their relationships. Now, before we move on from horseback riding, I will say another thing that I don't like is that you cannot access the furniture menu from the back of your horse. So this doesn't, if like you haven't played Wishblossom, it probably doesn't seem like it's that big of a deal. However, you'll find yourself a lot of the times wanting to put down some piece of furniture or wanting to look at something that you just got, and you can't get to the menu without getting off of your horse, which it doesn't take that long, but it does just feel like you should be able to access your furniture menu. I just don't feel like you should have to get all the way off your horse in order to access your furniture menu. Not to mention, the only other problem with this is that if you get down right off your horse and you're standing next to your horse, if you hit Y in order to go into the furniture menu on your controller or whatever it is on keyboard, then you're going to move over to like feed your horse by accident. Obviously, that's not what you want. You wanted to go here, you didn't want to feed your horse. So not only do you have to get off your horse, but you have to run a little ways away just to ensure that you're not interacting with the horse instead of going into the menu that you want. Again, very small and minor details about horseback riding. All in all, I think that it's absolutely amazing, as I've already said a million times, and that I'll just rave about. Again, I think they're going to improve this so much over time, so I'm really not worried about it. Now, the very last thing I will touch base on when it comes to horses is their leveling is not very easy to do. So it does take time. And the more you level them up, the longer it takes to level them up, if that makes sense. So this isn't really something you can speed level. There are ways that people have found around to kind of speed level, but even then it does take a good amount of time. They want you to really take your time and enjoy the horses. You will also find that questing in the game is locked behind the progress of the main horses. So Khan, Pegasus, and Maximus, at certain levels of their friendship, you'll get access to their special ability. And then once you get that special ability, it will help you to progress along in your questing. So, you know, you're gonna have to take time to really build your relationships up with the horses. And I guess it's kind of a way of them time gating you or trying to slow you down on your progress through the main story. So that's also something to keep in mind. Now that's about as much as I want to cover on the horses without spoiling it too much, because obviously, you know, you'll learn more if you get the DLC, but it is absolutely amazing. If I had to give it a rating, I would say that horseback riding in the game is an A-, only an A-, because I think that they could do some improvement on the different tasks that we do on horseback. But other than that, it's absolutely amazing. And I just can't imagine myself without horses in this game now. It's like, it's my new personality. But now that we've talked about horses and all that that comes with, let's talk about the map. The map is absolutely stunning and it's massive. I don't know, I feel like the map is bigger than any of the other DLCs that we've had thus far. And I don't know if that's because they made it bigger specifically because we're on horseback now or what, but oh my God, it looks massive. Every biome comes with about 5, I think, individual sections. So we'll start with the Wishing Alps. This is the Wishing Alps. We have Delver Dale, we have Wishblossom Ranch, the Silver Summit, Ranch Highlands, and Wishing Way. And if you're wondering kind of what the vibe is for Wishblossom Ranch, it's just a very snowy mountain peak, kind of like, I don't know, it almost gives like Spring Mountain. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but you've got like the grassy plains with a little bit of snow here and there. Some of the areas, like this area over here, is a little bit more snowy than others, but you're definitely in the middle of this mountainous, beautiful mountainous area. And I really love the aesthetic of this, and I love the snow too. Next, you have Glamour Gulch, which may be the most unique biome that we've seen in any DLC so far. It also has 5 different areas. There's this middle section here. Then you have Paisley Park, Modish Marsh, Hot Plateau, and then also River Runway. This is very much exactly what it sounds like. Let me show you. So this is Glamour Gulch, and again, it's couture. It's giving couture. It's definitely themed after Corella, who's found in this like biome or whatever. But I do want to talk about the aesthetic of it because it's totally unique. Let me go into furniture mode so I can show you a bit better. So here we are, and you can see it's got like a Victorian Gothic whimsical vibe. Even I would say whimsical, because as you can see on the trees, we've got like these ribbons and these buttons. We also have pin cushions down here. Obviously those feel very whimsical, well, at least to me anyway. And then you have these moody tones, so lots of black, whites, reds, and purples. Very, very moody area. And we also have like fun, I guess you could say fun, like foliage and stuff, which we'll talk about the foliage in the trees here in a second too. We'll do a deep dive into that, but definitely a very unique biome. We've even got the black sand beaches. I was telling my chat, this reminds me of Costa Rica, but I love the landscapes. They've got all of these, and on the map in general, like, let me stop to show you, like, do you see this back here? You can kind of see what I'm talking about right here, but like, you see these beams shooting up out of the mountain area back here. Even this, for example, this mine cart, I forget what this is called. I guess it's a mine cart area. I don't know, but it's so unique. Like doing a dream snap here or even decorating this area would be so cool. It's just, I don't know, super unique to something that we haven't seen. So this is Glamour Gulch. Totally unique vibe. We'll get into foliage in a second. And the last one that we have is called Pixie Acres. And oh my God, if you love a fairy tale, you're going to absolutely adore Pixie Acres. It also has 5 different areas. We have the 100-acre fields, Sunday Shores, Pixie Flats, the Honey Falls, and then also this little section here that's not named. Absolutely stunning. Let's go take a look. Now, if this biome doesn't scream fairy tale, I literally don't know what does. It is just, it's absolutely beautiful. You have all of these overgrown, massive flowers. It's very colorful, very bright. I mean, look at the butterflies. Are you kidding? The butterflies are so cool. I love that they flutter their little wings. Again, it's very green. If I could describe this in one word, it would be where pixies live, or fairies. It's just that vibe. I would almost even say that it reminds me a little bit of Alice in Wonderland, with maybe a different like color scheme or whatever, but all of the overgrown giant flowers and things give me that kind of vibe. But it's a very cool area. I will say the only negative I have, and I do have to point this out, is that I really wish that the water and even like these lily pads were a little bit more detailed. For some reason, the water in this biome looks kind of flat to me. The waterfalls look really good because, as you can see, it's like running water. It has some details there, but this lily pad on top of the water just looks flat. That's the best way I can describe it. Like, I wish it had a little bit more detail, or maybe it had more ripples or something to make it look like real moving water. But it's a very small dislike compared to how beautiful it is. I mean, it's still stunning, don't get me wrong. Like, I still think this is pretty. I would have just liked to see a little bit more detail in the water. Also, another little detail that I absolutely love about this biome are these floating little dandelions. I don't know what they're called. I think it's dandelions, but look at them. These are everywhere in this biome, and they just kind of float around as you're like riding on your horse, and it just feels like you're in the middle of an absolute fairy tale. I think this is a stunning little detail about this biome, and I just wanted to share because I think it's really pretty. Now, since we're here, we're going to talk about foliage. We'll just start off with Pixie Acres because that's where we're at. The foliage in this area that you get with the DLC are pretty much everything that you see right now. You can move any of these little sections here, like these big clusters of like flowers and stuff. You can move those around, but you also have the ability to like use them and place them down in your menu. I love, like, look at this, the giant flowers with the little ladder on the side. So cute. The giant dandelions, or sunflowers, I'm sorry, is what that is. The webby tree with the little water droplets. So it's so cute. I could lose my mind. Not to mention, in addition to all the trees and stuff, you also have little decorative things, such as these giant blueberries, which are really cool. I don't know how I would use these, but obviously we're gonna have to use them in some type of way. My personal favorite is this little guy. Are you joking? An animated snail. Y'all, look at the baby. Absolutely adorable. I love that they've incorporated something like this that actually like moves, even though it's foliage or decor. You know, it's actually like a living, breathing snail, which I think is absolutely adorable. And again, if you love whimsy, fairy tale, this is the DLC for you. I mean, Storybook Vale is another really great one, but I don't know. Wishblossom Ranch did an excellent job with this biome, and it feels this type of fairy tale feels different from Storybook Vale to me. So, truly unique in its own right. Now, Glamour Gulch is one of the ones which I will say that what I'm about to say is not a bad thing. This is very personal, very much personal opinion. I think that the foliage in this biome is really unique. And even though I'm not personally obsessed with it, I know that there's a lot of people that absolutely are going to adore this. And I'm so glad that they went this direction with foliage in the game, because it's just different. And I think that in DDV, it's good to have things that are different sometimes, you know, not the same old, just like, you know, trees and even furniture. It's nice to have a unique way to decorate, and Glamour Gulch definitely offers that. If you're anyone that's obsessed with like fashion, runway, or even designing your own clothes, I think that this is really going to hit home for you, because again, a lot of the trees and stuff have these buttons and ribbons. You know, you've got these pin cushions and things like that. Let me show you the underbrush. So even here you have this, which they call a spool shrub, and we also have the pin cushion shrub. So it's really not even, it's basically not even trees and bushes. These are just like objects replaced as trees and bushes, but very cool. And there are also some really awesome items like these shrubs here. Insane. You could use these literally anywhere, and I think those are absolutely stunning. Love the way the shrubs look. I also really love this red planter. And then these two items have to be my least favorite. They just don't make sense to me. Honestly, the mannequins with just the flower detail on it would have been nice. I feel like if they would have just removed the accessories, these could be more usable in my opinion, but I don't know, not my personal favorite. Either way, I guess what I'm trying to share with you guys is that this is a truly unique biome. I think it's awesome. I think people are going to make absolutely stunning builds with this, and I'm glad they went this direction, even if it's not my personal aesthetic. And then lastly, in the Wishblossom Ranch area, we have just your traditional foliage. This is the most normal foliage I think you'll see in all the DLCs, or in this DLC specifically, but you can see we have the snowy mountain pines, which I love these pine trees. I think they look really, really good. They might be actually recolors from some trees we already have in the game, but it's not that big of a deal. I think they do still look really unique, and I'm glad that they've given us options with some with snow, layered with snow, and others with no snow, really allowing you to kind of like customize how snowy you want something to be. So we have lots of different trees to choose from, including this one with like the little, what is that called? I don't know, whatever that accessory is on the tree. And then in the underbrush section, you have, we have a lot of underbrush for the Wishblossom Ranch area like this. I love this item. Are you kidding? I love that we have two versions. One that has snow on it, and basically that's for everything. There's one with snow on it, one without for this area. This is definitely a recolor. I think we got the original version of these in Storybook Vale, but those are recolors. This is also a recolor, but again, I still think they look pretty. I don't love recolors in a DLC personally. I know a lot of people are not bothered by that, but for me, I would love to see all new, brand new foliage, and some of it is brand new, but these bushes here are definitely recolors. So, but either way, I still think that they look great. I'm glad that we have them in the game. I love that we have the snowy options as well. Now, the only downside, which they may have this fixed depending on when you're watching this video, but these clusters of trees and like rocks and stuff here are not in the menu right now. At least they're not in my menu. It is something that they're going to have to add, but right now I don't have the clusters. So even if I pick them up and put them away in my inventory, they will not show up. So I have to leave them all down where they're at for right now so that, you know, I can use them if I want to, but we're missing the clusters for the Wishblossom Ranch area, and hopefully they add that soon. Now we are going to move right along to the next most important aspect of this DLC, and also is probably going to be one of the aspects that is a make or break situation for whether you're going to buy the DLC or not. Because if you're a decorator, yeah, you have to have this DLC. I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. You have to have this DLC. It's absolutely amazing because the modular building sets that we get in this DLC is absolutely insane. As you can see, we have all these individual pieces. I haven't even obtained all of them yet, but they can literally be layered any way that you want. We're talking about building entire towns, entire little cities, new structures. Like, you can make almost whatever you want with this modular building. And I think that it looks absolutely amazing, and you can just combine them any way that you want. Now, the other thing that's great about this is that we actually get a unique modular set for each biome that we have in the game. So Pixie Acres has its own, Wishblossom Ranch has its own, and Glamour Gulch also has its own, which is absolutely amazing. Now, I don't have all the pieces yet, but this is just an example of the Glamour Gulch set. This is kind of what it's going to look like. Again, you can just create literally whatever you want. This is like, it reminds me of a greenhouse, but yeah, you can just combine them in whatever form or fashion, you know, works for you. You can literally just put all of these pieces together. And I just love that they're doing more of this in the game, because it really allows us to be unique with our decorating. So if you're someone who loves decorating, I definitely feel like this is a must-have DLC for you, especially because of the modular building kits. We'll get into the furniture later. Actually, let's get into furniture right now. Let's talk about that right now, because that's a good segue. If we go into, let's see, where's the crafting? If we go into the crafting menu, you can have a little sneak peek at all the wonderful new items that you're going to get to decorate your, you know, your Wishblossom Ranch area with. So we have this cobblestone road, this wood fencing. Are you kidding? Are you actually joking? I can actually show you that in a second, but maybe I shouldn't. Maybe it's a spoiler, but look at all of the items, y'all. Oh my gosh, I cannot get enough. This is all of the modular building set pieces for Glamour Gulch. we just have so many awesome items. Like I could just silently scroll through and let you take a sneak peek. Again, I have not decorated much of any or even made any of these recipes yet, so I'm really looking forward to that. But these are just so stunning, like the outdoor silver fire pit. That is so cute. I love the vibe of everything in here, honestly. Here's a sneak peek at the modular building set pieces for oh my god. The modular building set pieces for Pixie Acres. Look at this. What is this? The terrarium? Are you kidding? Yeah, I need to make that immediately. This is just so exciting for me. And again, if you're someone who absolutely adores decorating, I just feel like you have to have this DLC because look at all of the absolutely amazing items. The giant beehive, the fairy floral bench, and you can use these items everywhere. You could use them in your main valley if you wanted to. You could spend your time decorating all of Wishblossom Ranch, whatever floats your boat. And also, I love the new fence options that we have. So we have the classic farm fence and the rustic log fence, both coming in a snowy version as well. And if you're familiar with DDV, then you know we could always use more fencing options in the game. So I was so glad to see this. And I really also love the new paving. So I can't wait to start decorating, but I did want to share this because I do think it helps people decide on whether they want a DLC, knowing what they're going to be able to craft and collect. So there's all of the new furniture and stuff, not to mention anything that comes in Scrooge's shop as well. And since we're in the collections menu, I do want to talk about something that was a negative for me when it comes to this DLC. And that's all of the stuff that you collect. And when I say all of the stuff, I really mean like barely anything because they really didn't give us a whole lot. I mean, Storybook Vale also didn't come with a whole lot of stuff to collect. I'm just a collector. I like to build storage rooms and storage houses. I would have loved to see a little bit more here. The fish section is actually not that bad, but if we go into the ingredient section, it's kind of slim. You know, we've got 2 new vegetables here. We've got a couple of, I think in total we have 6 new types of seeds. I might be right or wrong about that, but I just would have liked to see more new stuff. They did do pretty good on the meals. We have a ton of new meals to make, which all look really cool. Some of them are more whimsical and fairy tale-esque versus some are like, you know, more realistic in the type of food that it is, but they didn't do too bad here. I do really like how a lot of these meals look, but even the gyms, like, this is it for new gyms in a DLC. I know that's a very small aspect, but we have 3 new gyms. That's it. Jasper, Honeycomb, and Pyrite. I would have, again, loved to see more options here. Just more stuff to collect. It's not really that bad of a thing. So I don't know. You guys are probably going to be like, I don't care about that. But I don't know. For me, I would have liked to see more. We did have a decent amount of crafting materials. I do really love our new flower options as well. We have the lilies, which might be my new favorite flower of all time. Antique clothing iron is something you can get from, I think it's either digging in the ground or when you're mining in Glamour Gulch. I love the giant acorns that you can get, and also the grassy ore is so cool. You could use that for decorating, you know, if you just drop them out of your inventory. Still a good amount of cool stuff to check out. So I'm not necessarily complaining. I just want to give you guys my honest opinions about, you know, everything. Now we will talk about characters, but I'm not going to show you too much here because I do feel like that will be too much of a spoiler. But you have Corella, who has an absolutely evil personality. They did a spot on job with her. I mean, she is going to offend you. She is going to read you to filth, but it's very spot on for her character. And I think she looks absolutely amazing. Then you have Tinkerbell, she's just a queen. We just love her. I haven't welcomed her to the valley officially yet, but I have seen her and interacted with her via like quests and stuff. And I just think that she is so adorable. She's the perfect little size. I think she's absolutely beautiful. Snow White is stunning. Absolutely stunning, although her voice is not her voice, and that's for obvious reasons, but I think she sounds a lot like Minnie Mouse, which, I mean, it's fine. I can get past that, but her actual character design is really, really beautiful. And then we have Tigger, who I'm also still working on welcoming to the valley officially as like a villager, but Tigger is another one that's like personality is spot on, very vibrant, upbeat, happy go lucky, just like in the movies. So if you love Tigger, then you would actually love these. And I think, to be honest, I have to say that this lineup of characters is probably one of the best we've seen so far in a DLC. I think I want to say this is my number 1 in terms of villagers that we get. number 2 is Storybook Vale for me. But yeah, these are awesome villagers. I don't want to show off their friendship gifts and stuff like that because I feel like that would be too spoilery. Now, another thing that people didn't love is that in the Wishblossom Ranch DLC, you don't have a new form of currency per se. So, you know, like with Storybook Vale, we had Storybook Magic, Eternity Owl, we had the mist that we were collecting. In the Wishblossom Ranch DLC, it's just Dreamlight. Now for me, I don't mind that too much, if I'm being honest with you. I actually could have used another way to collect Dreamlight, so I do like that we can double down on Dreamlight this way. So for me personally, I actually don't mind this. Now, another completely new feature that came in this DLC are these little blueprints that you will find as kind of like old, abandoned, and run down or fallen apart buildings that you have to put back together using resources and stuff. Now, this is an example of one in Glamour Gulch that needs to be restored. You can see it says Blueprint Crafting. You'll need to use pixie dust, which I'll show you how to get that in a second. But then you'll also use a bunch of different resources from this area to add all of them into this little box over here. I'll put a clip on screen of me doing this. I did it on stream for one of them. But again, you add all of the resources it's asking for. And then once you repair it, you'll actually get the blueprint in order to, you know, use this item as a decoration in the future. So I really love this little aspect. It's a small detail, not super complicated, but definitely a lot of fun, and it gives you something to look forward to, and of course a reason to gather all of the different resources needed. These little bushes, I can't remember what they're called, but as you jump over them, that's how you get some of the pixie dust that they're requiring for these blueprints. So you definitely want to make sure you're getting a bunch of the, or you know, removing a bunch of these so that you can get the resource. But yeah, that's how you get the pixie dust, and you'll use them to restore blueprints along with other things and questing and stuff like that in the game. Now let's also talk about the companions in the game, because this is another highlight, and I feel like this DLC is one of the DLCs that have some of, again, the best companions. I don't know, maybe I say that about every DLC, but the first companion that you'll come across when you get to Wishblossom Ranch is the geese. This is one version, and I just think they are so cute. Every companion or new companion in the game or critter is absolutely adorable. So this is the goose, and it comes in a bunch of different colorways. I'll actually do a sneak peek at all of those in a second, but I will give a spoiler alert that that's coming up. And if you don't want to be spoiled by what the critters look like, then I'll let you know right before we go into it. Now, in addition to the geese, we also have the skunks, and oh my God, the skunks might be my favorite. I don't know, it's hard to choose between the skunks and the bumblebees, but look at this little baby. Oh my God, that face is the cutest thing I've ever seen. I absolutely love the critter pose that it comes with and how we hold them. They're just so cute. And now we're about to go into the collections menu, because I haven't collected a bumblebee and I kind of want to show you guys, you know, what those look like as well. But spoiler alert before we get in here, if you don't want to see this, then skip ahead. I will have this video timestamped. But we also have the bumbles, and oh my gosh, look how cute. I think the traditional yellow one has to be my favorite, but we also have a blue and purple, a pink and yellow, and also a white and black version. They are even more adorable in person, but I can't show you one because the ones available today are in areas that are locked for me. We also have these different skunks, variations of skunks. I really love the pattern skunk, very cool. And Professor Muffet, hopefully I pronounced that correctly, is absolutely the little sunglasses in the hair. Stop it right now. They are so cute. We got a white skunk and then a black and white version. And then all of the geese, we have a black, blue, a golden goose, the true north goose, which might be my personal favorite, and also like a white goose. We'll talk about the quest line and the storyline. So as you guys know, we come to Wishblossom Ranch to help restore, which was once a peaceful, you know, vacation getaway type of area. There were horses and everything was lively, but then there was a destruction that kind of happened, and Corella did a terrible job of managing, you know, the well-being of the ranch. So we're tasked with coming out here, kind of fixing this thing called the decay that's happening, also restoring the Wishblossom magic, and I don't want to say too much more than that, but basically we're tasked with restoring this area like we are with a lot of the questing in DDV. And if you like the questing in DDV, then I think you'll really enjoy it. There are so many beautiful areas to discover in this DLC that I haven't even shown you in this video. And again, the storyline is actually really good in my opinion. But I never really felt like questing is DDV's strong suit. It can be repetitive, it can be a bit fetch questy, and that hasn't changed with this DLC much. So Yeah, I don't really play the DLCs or DDV in general for the questing, if I'm being honest. Again, the one thing I'll reiterate is that a lot of the quests that you want to get to are locked behind the leveling of your horses. So that's just another thing I just want to reiterate to be mindful of. Like, you're not going to be able to just speed run the quests in this game either. You're going to actually have to work on leveling up your horses in order to progress. I do want to do a little bit more detail into the villager mounts, as I'll call them. The first one we have here is Maximus, and his special ability is going to be doing long jumps. I'm not going to show them in the video because I think that you would just like to experience it for yourself. I know it was shown in the trailer, some of these actions that these, you know, horses do, but I want you to see it for yourself. So I'm not going to show it off in the video, but yeah, Maximus's special ability is to long jump. And then we have Khan here, and Khan's special ability is actually to kick down barricades. So he'll use his hind legs to literally break through walls and stuff, which is really cool. And the last one that I don't have is Pegasus. I have not unlocked Pegasus personally. I'm really excited about it because that's going to be our first ever flying mount. And that mount will help you through something called wind tunnels, which I, again, have not experienced. But so far, my experiences with these horses kind of, you know, running around and doing their tasks around the valley has been, or around Wishblossom Ranch, I'm sorry, has been absolutely amazing. They look so cool. I love their special abilities. I love how they're all kind of unique. They also come with their own horse poses as well, like specific horse poses. So that's just another thing to look forward to in this DLC. Now, also what I'll show you right now is the early adopter items and also what we get for purchasing the deluxe version of the game. So I will say that this is a bit of a spoiler alert, just to be mindful. If you don't want to see those items and want to see them for yourself, then you can, again, skip this part of the video. But I do think it's important to show you what you get. So for anybody who's purchased the DLC from when it was released on November 19th, through to December 3rd, you will receive this outfit that I have on right here. And you'll also get this outfit regardless of whether you're male or female. Don't love that, truly, because the male version of this looks just like the female version. But this is the early adopter outfit and absolutely adorable. Very cottagecore, very cutesy. And in addition to that, you'll also get the early adopter full ensemble for your horse as well. And here we can have a little bit of a closer look. But yeah, look at all of this. Isn't this adorable? They're all separate pieces, which I really love. It's called the Spring Festival, I think, collection. So it comes with this little blanket that you throw over the back of the horse. The saddle is this one right here, which comes with this little piece around the front. So you are matching with your horse. It's very, very cute. And this is the full set here. Now let's talk about what you'll get if you are purchasing the deluxe version of the game, which I do think is very, very important to cover. So if we go into wardrobe, we'll talk about the clothing first. You can see we have the Aradelian riding outfit. It looks like this. I'm going to take off the hat so it's not distracting. But yes, absolutely love this outfit. It's so much better than what I expected, but I love how it frames the body shape. I think it's really detailed. I think it's really just a stunning outfit. This is what it looks like for the male version. And again, this looks great on male or female. Actually, I'll change my body type so you can see. Oh my gosh. Well, well, there's the early adopter outfit. And again, this is so cute on him, but you know, this may not be the vibe that everyone's going for. So it depends on who you are as a person. I wish they would have just given us both a masculine and a feminine version and then let us choose between however we want to dress our characters. I just feel like is the best option there. But let me show you this one, the riding outfit. Look how great this looks. This outfit is stunning. It's regal. It looks expensive. These are two amazing outfits in my opinion. Now, if I'm correct, I do believe this came with a hat as well. Yeah, it came with the riding helmet, which I think is cool too. The riding helmet does look good. It's definitely very equestrian. So I don't know. I really love this set. I think they did an excellent job. Now, of course, and you may have seen a couple of times in this video, you also got Sven, who is literally just a baby. I just love Sven. I love how his frame is different from the other horses, obviously, because he's not a deer. What's the thing called? What elk? He's an elk, right? He's an elk? I don't know. Listen, don't quote me on it. He's different from the horses. I love how he's a little derpy. The way we ride on him is literally hilarious to me. I think it's so funny, but yeah, I just love how he looks. I love the antlers as well. And I'm just so happy to have Little Spin in the game, or Big Spin in the game, I guess I should say. Now, I will go ahead and show you what you get for leveling up Spin, considering that it is a part of the Deluxe Edition, so maybe people would like to see. But spoiler alert, this is what you get for leveling them up. So at 4, you get a new Sidle set, and by leveling them all the way up to 10, you'll get a whole, like, equestrian outfit set that you can use on your other horses as well. And then number 10 is very special because it's a dream style for this mount, which I've mentioned in my previous videos. I think this dream style is basically insinuating that any main character horses, again, I don't know what to call them, but basically not like your regular horse, but villager horses per se, could be getting dream styles in the future, which I think is absolutely amazing. And I'm very much so looking forward to that if that is a thing. But yeah, he does have a level 10 dream style that I haven't gotten to yet, obviously, but this is what you can expect from Sven. And then last but not least, and probably the most controversial, or has caused the most controversy about the DLC so far, is the house skin that you get, or were supposed to get, when you bought the deluxe version of the game. So this is the version that everyone is familiar with and the version that they advertised. However, if you bought the DLC on day 1, then you got this house skin instead. Now, here's where the issue comes in. The people who got the DLC on day 1 ended up getting both of these house skins because they had to rectify the fact that it wasn't the right house skin as advertised. So they sent us this one in the mail, but we also got to keep this one. Now, to my understanding, and you guys can correct me if I'm wrong about this, but at the time when this video is posted, people who have purchased the DLC later, a couple of days later, are only being given this house skin. They're not getting this one. And I'm not a fan of that. I do think that they should be gifting both houses to everyone, especially if they're letting the people who purchased the DLC on day 1 keep both house skins. I just don't think it's very fair that, I don't know, I just don't think it's fair. Like, at this point, the mistake was made. You might as well just give everybody both and call it what it is. Like, it is what it is. Some other reasons why I feel like that should be the case as well is because this house skin, for example, can be used with all of these individual pieces seamlessly. Look at this. Okay, I showed this off earlier. You can put any of the modular pieces for this area right up against this house. They fit seamlessly. However, that's not the case for this house skin, which is very odd, but it does not, you cannot put these together seamlessly like you can with the other house skin. And I just feel like that's a real disappointment. And if anything, at least update this one so that we can use the modular pieces alongside it as well. So here are my final thoughts and opinions. If you are someone thinking about purchasing Wishblossom Ranch, I think that you absolutely should, especially if you're trying to decide between the 3 DLCs that exist for the game now. I definitely think Wishblossom Ranch is probably my #1 DLC so far, factoring in completely new gameplay mechanics that we've never seen and a new way to get around the valley. I think that it's a must-purchase DLC. But if you found this video helpful, please comment below and let me know what you think about the DLC. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. Consider watching one of the videos that's on your screen right now. And until next time, friends, I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!